Okay, so all tonight is going to be about is I'll go through some slides just to show you the differences between what we're going to do with admin, and please feel free to, as I say, this can be a collaboration. We can chat all the way through. If you've got burning questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I have the lovely Diane with me this evening, who is our Global Customer Success Manager. I think that's what you are, isn't it?
Yes, but I wear many hats, but
she does.
yes, glad to be with everyone today. I know we're both coming up as Heather Black because we're using her Zoom, so it might be a little confusing. There's not two of us. My name is Diane, but I am the Community Engagement Manager globally. I work globally, but I'm stationed here in the US. So looking forward to everyone. If you want to, you don't have to turn on your camera. If you want to, you can, just so that we know you're out there, but you could stay muted. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to either unmute or just put it in the chat. I'll be monitoring and taking a look and see if there's any questions as we go along.
Absolutely. And it would be really great to know where you're all from, because I'm saying good morning. You might not be in the UK. So it's always nice to know where everyone's from.
Yes.
Okay, I think we will just make a start with the slides. As I say, any questions at all, either do it now, or we will put a link in the chat where you can get in contact with us as well. So if you want a personal one-to-one as well, then we can do that. So right, let me just share my screen. The joys of it working. Hopefully it works. Okay, can you see my screen? Excellent. Perfect. Okay. So successfully launching your Salesforce career will start with a foundation of admin. When I started, was advised the same. I actually did the course with Supermums myself. So I'm a great person to talk to, not only because I now work for Supermums, but also because I've been exactly where you are now. Obviously, I don't actually know what your stage of career is. So if I'm talking and you're professionally in the ecosystem, then I apologize, but I'm going to talk to you all as if you know nothing, because that's probably the easiest way. But like I say, please feel free to jump in with your questions. So Heather set up Supermums in 2016. So that was 7 years ago, which is it's our anniversary this year, which is really exciting for everyone. She found that when she started out, she had 2 small children. She started working within consultancy in the ecosystem, and she found that, she had that great work-life balance. She could take the children to school and still work from home. So I think that's what gave her the idea. She wanted to shout to everyone about it, and say, come and join me. This is great, So that's how Heather started out. So I don't know if you wanted to jump in with anything there, Diane.
Sure. Sorry about that. I was muted and I was desperately searching my view. Yes, I think, Heather has been an inspiration in as far as in that respect, seeing the inside of, the workings within the Salesforce ecosystem, but also coming from that perspective of wanting to, again, bring others into this and share the joy of being able to work remotely while still having a great career, and the flexibility to grow and the flexibility to be financially secure. So that was really kind of her reason for, founding Supermums back in 2016 in the UK. Actually came to the US in 2019 is when we first enrolled our first US cohort. So still, kind of new in that respect, but now we've trained over 1,200 people globally. So we have a really big community of individuals that we have trained. So just all kind of founded on the mission of being able to start a career in technology and be able to have that flexibility that you want and still be able to support yourself and your family. We train people that are not parents, and not all women. So we do train anybody globally, but just it helps to kind of go back to, I think, the founding principles of where it started from, and why we're here and why we're all here to support you, for sure.
Absolutely. And the great thing is, not only do you get training with Supermums, you also have the delightful Diane, who is, I said her title wrong, but she helps and guides everyone through the community. She does coaching sessions, and she does a great job out there. So you will get to meet both of us if you go ahead and sign up for anything. As I say, if you've just got questions, that's absolutely fine too. So why learn Salesforce? So I'm not sure, this may be slightly outdated, but I can just tell you that the Fortune 500 organizations in the world, over 90% of organizations use Salesforce. It's the #1 platform for organizations. And of course, you can work within an organization who uses Salesforce, or you can also work for Salesforce. So, you know, they're saying, Salesforce themselves are saying that by 2028, there's going to be another 11.6 million jobs in the ecosystem. So it's huge out there. So welcome to Lauren, who's just joined us. As I've said, Lauren, we are recording. Feel free to put your camera on, speak, pop any questions in the chat, or at some point we will put a link so that you can make personal contact with us also. So why do companies use Salesforce? I mean, that goes without saying. It's a 360 view of customers. So, you know, whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing, whether you use Service Cloud, all of the above will give you the information you need to enable you to move forward with your business. And you know, it's real-time analytics, secure data, which is obviously really important to most organizations, to all organizations, I should say. As I say, feel free to stop us at any point.
I don't know if, Lynn, I just wanted to add something, just because we
Sure.
don't really know what the background is for everybody that's joining us today. So, you know, sometimes I like to assume you don't really know anything about Salesforce and what it is. It's nice to know that it is one of the largest cloud-based, it's a cloud-based platform out there, and used by, you know, top 5 Fortune 500 companies, as well as #1 in nonprofits. But what exactly is Salesforce? So it's a customer relationship management platform. So literally, you can think of it as, you know, how really companies use it to organize their data, their customer data and accounts, and it sits on the cloud. So the nice thing about that is, if you're thinking about it, you know, it's automatic updates. If you're using Salesforce, it's automatically updated. It's not like you have to download the latest and greatest software to use. So, you know, Salesforce has done a great job of always constantly bringing new updates and new features and new products within their ecosystem. And it's also used widely across all industries. You know, you find Salesforce in higher education, in healthcare, in retail, in finance, you know, markets. So there really isn't an industry that is not utilizing Salesforce. And also, as Lynn, you know, explained, it's sometimes difficult because Salesforce is the company and Salesforce is also the product. So Salesforce itself does employ a lot of people, but then there's the wider Salesforce ecosystem. And what that includes is, you know, what we call partners of Salesforce, who are utilizing Salesforce, and just any really organization that is using this cloud-based software, consultancy firms, again, higher education, you know, anywhere using this software for themselves, or this cloud-based platform for themselves. So you can think of it that way. That's why there's so many jobs and opportunities available, because it's just a very wide network of who, you know, can use this. And there's specific, what we call clouds, based on the type of industry that you're in. You know, there's a health cloud, there's an education cloud, there's a sales cloud, a service cloud for nonprofits. So it's really diversified in that respect, and that's why, you know, again, Lynn had mentioned there's so much opportunity for the future because they have really entrenched themselves in every market and every industry. So I just wanted to say that because sometimes people, you know, will come back to me and say, I'm not really even sure what Salesforce is. Again, Salesforce is a company that is actually based in San Francisco, California, but they are global, but they are also the product itself is called Salesforce.
We've got a question, I think. So
yeah, right. I have had some exposure many, many moons ago. Right. Salesforce has been around for a while too, Jen. And interesting enough, Jen, you know, our obviously nonprofit, you probably, if you're coming from nonprofit, you probably have heard of Salesforce because it's really the #1 used CRM platform in nonprofits. But interestingly enough, many of our trainees, I would say a good percentage of them come from the educational sector. So that's what's great is they have come from education and are retraining to kind of move into, you know, technology or move into the Salesforce ecosystem. So you'd be amongst a lot of similar individuals training, Jen. So glad you're here.
Yeah, so in terms of just what you were saying then, Diane, I mean, I speak to people every day, from people that have no idea what Salesforce is to people that have maybe fallen into the job, so they're accidental admins and everything in between. So we speak to people every day that you know, when you think there's 55 to 60 people on every course, and all of those are from completely different backgrounds.
Completely. And you know, I would say the commonality with 90% of the people that join our training class is that they don't have a tech background. Okay. They do not have a technical background. They do not know, know how to code. That's a question that I would get frequently. So even if you have limited exposure to technology, learning Salesforce is really for anybody. I mean, that's kind of what Salesforce itself will tell you, and that you could see that is what they, you know, promote is Salesforce for everyone. So you don't have to have that technology background. So that's why making that transition into technology through Salesforce is a great route to go, because you can really learn it from any background. You don't have to have any type of particular background to start training.
So I'm glad to see that Jennifer is slightly relieved and delighted. So I'm delighted you're delighted. So Elizabeth, so thank you for coming on, Elizabeth, as well. It says, hi, I'm Elizabeth. My background is in the translation and services industry. I have used Salesforce in my role as an account director. That's interesting. Okay, that's great. Okay, so as that's not an actual question, we'll move on. But I mean, the point of tonight really is that we'll go through these slides just to give you a bit of an indication for those that haven't used it. I appreciate that Elizabeth has used it, so she knows about Salesforce. I'm guessing, though, Elizabeth, that you were an end user. Obviously, with the admin role, we're teaching the whole system from the back end to the front end. So, so I'll carry on with this. But as I say, I'm really happy that people have started popping messages in the chat. So keep them coming. Yeah. End user of the very, oh dear. Okay.
That sounds like they needed a Salesforce admin there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably Elizabeth would agree.
Perhaps you can go back. Okay.
You need a Salesforce admin because that's why the system becomes unorganized. People, you know, that aren't trained, and it really is. It's funny, but it's so true that you bring that up. This is why, you know, this training is out there, because there are a lot of people that we, you know, call accidental admins that are kind of tasked with the system and don't really know all the capabilities or haven't been properly trained. So having a properly trained admin taking care of the system not only just improves your experience of an end user using it, but really in that organization helps everybody adapt that better because they could see that it's well planned and well organized. So thanks for bringing that up because it brings up a really good point.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. So that is outdated because that said by 2026, the Salesforce ecosystem will be creating 9.3 million jobs. As I said, they have now updated that. It's 11.6 million by 2028. Obviously, there's all sorts of other things going on now in the ecosystem. I mean, obviously, the main one that springs to mind, and I think we have this conversation in every call we do, which is AI. I mean, I know AI has been around for a while, but it's just taking massive leaps ahead. So what are the benefits? So, I mean, again, we've talked about this, you know, when we were talking about why Heather went forward with the organization. But, you know, just to state the obvious, flexible and remote work opportunities are important to a lot of people. Financial freedom, career growth. Career growth was always an important one with me because I was always keen to progress in my career. And I was in my last role for over 10 years. And I just thought, do you know what? It's time to move on. I was an end user, as you were, Elizabeth, and I just loved the functionality of Salesforce. So that's why I decided to upskill with Supermums, and here I am now. So yeah, really good. And as I say, constant learning and adding to your skill set. That really just carries on from the previous slide, achieving your dreams and leaving behind, you know, that again, that commuting, that just resonates so much for me. I was driving hundreds of miles every day. Morning, I was leaving home at 5:30 and getting home at 8:30 every day. And now I work from home and I love it. Okay, I'll stop talking, Diane. Do you want to take this slide? Because everybody will be fed up with my voice.
Sure. Yeah, you know, just kind of what I said in the beginning about flexible, you know, anytime, you know, in technology, when you're working with the cloud, I mean, you can really work from anywhere, right? So, and in the Salesforce ecosystem, there is a lot of, you know, different roles that you can take on. You can have some flexible hours, remote work, hybrid work, temporary work, full-time, a lot of contract roles that are available, especially as a Salesforce administrator. So, you know, there definitely exists different flexibility in those roles. And do you want me to keep, I could keep going to the next slide if you want me to.
Yeah, you carry on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And this just really shows no matter where you're kind of located, whether you're joining us from, I'm assuming most people are probably joining us from the UK, not in the US. This kind of just gives you an example of what starting salaries are and what you can expect and an average. Definitely, you know, the salaries progress as you add on to your professional growth. So as you add on certifications, you could progress very quickly. You can go through the stages of moving from, you know, kind of an entry level role all the way up to a more advanced role, you know, in a matter of, you know, actually we've seen probably the quickest progression. I've seen people move from like a sales administrator role all the way up to an architect role within a year. And that's possible. And you're literally probably tripling your salary. But you know, it really just depends on the experience that you're gaining. And so what I just like to gather from this and to tell you is that the entry level roles are very sustainable and, you know, provide, you know, great benefits and great, you know, great financials for you, even just in an entry level role.
Absolutely. And I think any role or any direction that you think you want to do, so you might be in marketing and want to do marketing cloud, a typical one is consultancy, you know, business analyst consultancy roles. But what I always say to everyone is you need your foundation of admin. Once you've had that, then the sky's the limit. You can go on and do one of these other great roles as well. But we do have some brilliant, in fact, we have an admin that works for Supermums. She trained with Supermums and she's our admin and she's the go-to. So she knows everything.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think that is actually the same slide. Is it right for me? So we do have a 5-day challenge. However, you may or may not have seen that. But if you're looking to do this very next admin course, whether you know or don't know, I will tell you. It starts, you've got 2 choices of live session. You can either do a 9:30 a.m., which is on Thursday, the 9th of November. That's the first one. Or you can do a 6 p.m., which is on Tuesday. So that will start on the 7th. So to sign up for the one that we've
And
got.
that's all in BST time. I'm assuming.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Yes.
it is. Sorry.
I am assuming, but there could be people here in the US, if you
Yeah.
are in the US,
Yeah.
that would be, Tuesdays would be then at, I'll have to go back. What would that be at, it's 6 p.m. BST time, right?
Yes.
So then that would be 1 o'clock Eastern time, I believe. Yes, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 12 Central, 11 Mountain, 10, 10 Pacific. And then the other one would probably not be applicable for anybody that is in the US, just because it would be very, very early in the morning. I think starting at like 3:30 in the morning or something like that. But you never know if you're a night owl or you want to get up early. But those are the 2 options. It's nice that if you are then in the UK or based in BST time zone, that you can have an option of starting in the evening or having one more towards the morning hours, for sure.
Yeah, so the reason, just to tell you the reason behind that, and I will answer Elizabeth and Sonia. Nice to meet you, Sonia. I see you're in the UK also. In terms of the times, it's 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, which is BST, and that is the UK time. So the reason that we have the 2 different time zones is, as Diane said, we do have a lot of our friends over the water in the US, and they need that time zone because obviously they couldn't join the 9:30.
Yes, yeah, yes, because it would be really, really early in the morning.
Yeah.
But just as a clarification on that, the live sessions are only once per week. And when you do register, you either register for, that Tuesday session or that Thursday session. So they're only once a week that they're live, and it's usually for about 2.5 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. Starts a little slower in the beginning. But so you only really have to be on the live session for that, that once per week.
Okay. Yes. In
yes.
to it says Y Collins, so I don't know your first name, but nice to meet you. Just to let you know that everything is recorded. The course that you'll hear us talk about is called the Ultimate Admin. So that's the one you'll hear about us talking about. However, there are other options. Now, with the Ultimate Admin, the course runs for total of 6 months. But if I work back from that, your first 3 months is going to be your learning. So that's where you're going to do your live session once a week, and you're going to do your homework, and you're going to have a one-to-one mentor. But do you have to stick to the same time? Yes, you do.
Yes.
But everything is recorded. So you get to keep the content for 12 months. So even if you couldn't do any of the sessions, you could, if you get home at 7, you could maybe watch it at 7 every week. So there's that option. So the first 3 months is your learning. The last month of the 4 is going to be your exam prep, where you're going to prep. You have free access to something called Focus on Force, where you'll be able to go in and do mock tests, which are so helpful. And then if you still want it, and I'll tell you why I say that in a minute, there is 2 months of work experience. Now, that work experience, if you haven't got a job by then, will be so important, because what you're going to be able to do is on your resume, your CV, you're going to be able to add your certification, your technical skills, your transferable skills, everything you've got to bring to the table, and also that you've had some work experience. But again, if you want more detail on that, we can speak one-to-one, or just drop a question on the back of that into the chat. Anything more on that, Diane, before I move on?
So the only thing I was going to just clarify, because I know we talked about, do you have to be on the Tuesday or the Thursday? We do want you to stick with the cohort. So either the Tuesday or the Thursday class. And the reason being is, there's always different dynamics in each class. And there might be points where, one class is a little ahead or they're asking questions. So, switching, and also our trainers get to know, our trainer gets to know you really well, and you get to know your peers really well. So it's actually very helpful for you to stick in that cohort, in that class, and not switch it back and forth from that Tuesday to Thursday class. Because that can get a little bit confusing in the overall organization of it. But again, if you can't make it live, we have plenty of trainees that have to go to the recordings and do it on their own time. You still have access to be able to talk to the trainers, to be able to have group discussions. I think probably Lynn will talk about that a little bit more, but you will have a one-on-one mentor that is a part, kind of holding your hand throughout the course. And you will meet with that mentor once a week, and you and them will set up your own time of when it's convenient for you to meet. And that's where you can really get some questions answered and talk more about your homework that you do and your assignments you do. So there's ample opportunity for you to still, be involved, even if you're not there for the live sessions.
And Diane is also, just to add into that mix, she's a career coach, and she does regular coaching sessions, usually group, but she does do a one-to-one at the end. Am I right with that? Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. A part of the great thing that's part of our training programs is it really enroll you into this like career development program as well, alongside of your training for Salesforce. What we really want to do is get you ready for, employment into that ecosystem. So that involves a lot of making sure that, everything's aligned and Salesforce ready. So we do some group coaching sessions where we talk about really tactical things that can help you. Like, how do you get your LinkedIn profile up to speed so it looks like you're a Salesforce professional? And how do you make sure that your CV speaks to that? So we do a lot of group coaching sessions. And then we also do one-on-one as you go through your training, so that I can talk to you specifically about what your personal goals are and how, we can kind of set a plan of action for you. So that's all part of the training program as well.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, this sounds cliche, and if you've spoken to me before and you've heard me say this before, I apologize. But once a super mum, always a super mum. I mean, you will have quite a lot, even when you've finished your course. If there's something on, like, if there's an event on in London, like Salesforce World Tour last year, we all met up. So it's a really great community to be part of as well. So what's the next slide then? Demo time. Well, I'm sorry about that. Slides that I've put together haven't been today, so I just threw them together to talk you through something. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to miss a couple of them out because there isn't a demo time.
Yes, there isn't a demo time today, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yes, I see. You can go ahead and go along. I just heard, or I just saw, I think that was Jennifer say, thanks for the clarification. Yes. We realize that half the battle is learning the technical side of Salesforce, but you also have to know, how do you then get into that role and into that career? So we help and support you along that way. And the nice thing is, as you move from trainee to what we call alumni, we're continuing to help you with your professional development. We have a 2-year professional development plan for you and program for you. So it's this continue, kind of partnership and building, on your professional goals, which is great. So you're not just like kind of dropped off after you're done training. You're continuing to get this ongoing support, which is really, helpful, and, it's needed. It's important.
Absolutely. And so the structure, so I touched on this a little while ago. Now, where it says 6 months, as I said, your 4 months is going to lead you to get your certification. So what would happen is you do the 3 months training, the 1 month of your exam prep. You would then go to Salesforce yourself and you would book your test. So your exam can either be on site or online. There's obviously criteria if it's online, but you can absolutely do that. You would usually pay $200 for a certification for you to take your exam. However, Supermums do have 50% off vouchers. So when it comes to that time, in 4 months' time, then you can take your exam and have 50% off that. So that is 4 months. You could then go to apply for a job because you got your certification. However, that 2 months at the end, the reason we do it at the end is because, as I say, some people have got a job by then and they don't want to take advantage of the work experience, which is included. So you absolutely get that if you want it. So the work experience will be approximately 48 hours over 2 months. So that will enable you to then add that to your CV that you've done some work in the ecosystem. You will work for a live organization who will help you to help them to set a project up. So it's great, practice for you as well before you go out into the real world. And something to say with that as well, I know that the collaboration between the alumni, as Diane touched on, is, even after people have got jobs, they might be started a new job, have a bit of imposter syndrome and think, oh my goodness, I can't do this. But they all chat to each other and say, right, I'm doing this today. Can somebody tell me how to do it? And it's so great when you move into a new job to have that support behind you as well. So we suggest that you allow 16 hours per week. That is made up of your 1 weekly session that's live, or if you can't watch it live, it's recorded. Incidentally, we do have, often that fall on school holiday weeks, we do have breaks. So for example, the November one, you will get 2 weeks off in the UK. Yes, Jennifer, 48 hours over 2 months, you did hear that right. If so, that doesn't seem like a lot of hands-on work experience. It's just because some people are working, it's just something for you to get your hands dirty, really, and for you to add to your CV that you've got some work experience. And hopefully then you
yeah, I was going to say, I could clarify with that too and say something about that 48 hours. I want you to think about that not as a continuous 48 hours. So most of our trainees, they'll be working on a project or something that they'll be doing, which constitutes about 5 to 10 hours, per week. Sometimes a bit more. So we are guaranteeing that our trainees will work at least those 48 hours. So if you think about it this way, it's divided out, week per week and working on that project. So it's not like a continuous, 48 hours. So it's divided out over 2 months. So in actuality, you get like 2 months of experience. And it is a lot of hands-on experience, to be honest with you. And some of our Supermums actually continue on a little bit longer. If they have that option to do it, they may be able to continue on a little bit longer in their work experience. And then also throughout the course, you are actually building out your own experience as well, a simulated experience and hands-on experience. So you're almost doing your own work in what we call a demo org. So you're kind of building out your own experience. So you're doing that, the simulation work experience, and then you're doing the live work experience. I just wanted to clarify that just so that you really can understand how much hands-on experience you really do get.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to what I was saying just now. So 16 hours study per week is what we advise that you set aside. So whether or not you're watching the live classroom or you're watching it at a later date, it's still 2.5 hours out of your week. There's self-study, but the great thing with Supermums is everything is structured, guided and supported. So you will have access to the Supermums organization where you can go in, you can have a look, you'll have things, I mean, without telling you too much, because it's you know, you'll soon see that if you do it, but what you'll have is you'll have a section that's homework. So my mentor, when I did it, advised me to take the homework for the following week prior to doing your live session, because then you know what you're looking out for. And of course, if you go to do your homework and you think, oh, what did he say, you can watch it again. So that's really good. So that's important. You'll be doing trailheads, and for those of you that have never heard of trailheads, that is Salesforce resource. There is literally thousands of pieces on there. You can go on and get some nice shiny badges. So I still do that because I quite enjoy it. If that's sad, really, but that does become part of your studying, and obviously your work experience. And then of course these bonus sessions, as I said, taken by the lovely Diane, who will go through your coaching sessions. They are normally, and again, Diane, correct me if I'm wrong, 8:30 BST on a Monday. Is that right? And
yes. So right. We'll have group coaching sessions, which are, we do that twice per month. So every other week, fortnightly, we will do a group coaching session. And it's really just a benefit, a bonus for you. You do have access. Those are recorded as well. So you will have access, and, you know, we give you a portal, a Supermums portal, where all of your assignments are and all your learning is, and where you can chat with everybody in your group, and where you can find out about what's going on. And those group coaching sessions, the recordings will be in there as well. So you can always go back if you can't make it live. It's nice to join live because you get to ask questions and kind of, you know, talk to your peers too, which is great, you know, have other peers, because there's people that are joining us from all different types of alumni groups. So it might not just be your current class, but it could be from a past class, or someone that, you know, took our Supermums training quite a while back. So because you have access to that group coaching sessions for a full year. So, you know, so that's what's nice, is you get to meet other people. And just before you move on, I do have to jump off because I actually have a call that I have to take, another call that I have to take from a trainee. So I'm doing one of my coaching sessions as we speak. I'm going to be jumping off and doing a coaching session. But I just wanted to, I'll drop my calendar link if you want me to, Lynn, to drop it in there, just so that if anybody has any questions, they can feel free to reach out to me if you have like a personal question, and we can have a session. And I'm sure Lynn will drop, you know, hers, or how else you can get in touch with one of the other customer success managers. Shellen is another one who works with us, and she can talk to you as well. So just feel free to reach out, schedule a time for us to talk. I'd be happy to talk more if you have specific one-on-one questions that you want to ask me.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. It's remembering to say have a great day to Diane, because obviously, because she's in the US, she starts when I'm finishing. Right, I'm just putting in my my link as well, because you can actually book some time with me. Something else you can do if you wanted to, just so that we can chat, is if you find me on LinkedIn, because a lot of conversations go on through LinkedIn. So, you know, you can always private message me on there, and we can chat on there. So I'm actually in London tomorrow. I'll be on the train. So if anybody wants to ask me any questions, just feel free to contact me that way. So we've also got here some, I was just going to say on this peer support bit, genuinely, in all of my working career, and I've had quite a long working career, I have never met a community like A, Supermums, and B, Salesforce. I was working for a corporate company selling property for over 10 years. I was the go-to person. I just was stuck in a rut, but I decided that I was going to take voluntary and come and do Salesforce full time. And as it happens, I ended up getting a job with Supermums. So I've had a great story and a great journey. But genuinely, I went to World Tour this year, which was in London, if any of you saw it. And it was just amazing, because everyone is so excited for people who are trying to progress in their career. Doesn't matter whether you're a mum, a dad, a grandparent, it doesn't matter at all. It made no difference to me. Everyone I spoke to was as keen to talk to me as the next person. So it's a great community within Salesforce. The good thing with working for Supermums for me is that everybody that I came across that worked in the Salesforce ecosystem all had heard of Supermums. Quite a lot of people had trained through Supermums. So it's Supermums is an amazing community. So let me move on to the next slide. So have a look in the website, and I'm sure you've probably all got a link, but I will just drop it in here, supermums.org. And then if you have a look under, oh, here we go. Another question. Apologies to anyone else. That was one of my other questions. Why Supermums as opposed to getting the same or similar skills training with the likes of Revelant? Okay, great question. I would say for me, when I decided to transition and pivot my career, I looked at a lot of different training providers. I did try and sign up with a couple of them, no names, but I just didn't do anything with them. They just didn't tick all my boxes. I personally looked at Supermums because there was so much support and guidance and structure there. And for me, I was advised by quite a lot of people to try Supermums. So that's the reason for me. Obviously, for any of you, have a look, do research, see what ticks all your boxes. For me, it was Supermums, and that's why I'm here. Like I say, I did sign up with a couple of other courses that for me didn't tick the boxes, so I wasted a bit of money on that. But absolutely, I mean, and again, look at what our people say. So have a look on the website, go and have a look at our case studies. Go on to LinkedIn and type in Supermums and see what other people have done. Tara, I think she's called Tara Hens, Ahens. She is one of our alumni. She's flying at the moment, and I just love to see it because, again, that's the great thing. We have every week we do a shout out to people. And I just love the excitement amongst everyone. As I say, I've never come across anything like this. In my old job, it was a bit like everyone for themselves. Here, genuinely, everyone is just so excited when someone passes something or does another badge on Trailhead or something. So as I say, for me, as much as I now work for Supermums, of course I do. That's why I suggest you go and do your own homework and don't just listen to me. But genuinely, I've never come across a group of people like it. So I hope you get to experience that. So Divya, so she started her first Salesforce admin job during lockdown. She says the course was exactly what she needed, having no tech background. So that's quite good to see that. She says, I needed a course which was guided and where you're able to go to and ask someone questions. And Supermums did exactly that. So even if you can't attend the live sessions, I know Diane said that's important. I mean, yes, I suppose it is, but I didn't attend all the live sessions. And I found that the questions that I probably would have asked, somebody else asked anyway, so it didn't matter to me. Obviously, in an ideal world, you do every live session, you do your homework, your mentor marks it all, and then you do the next week. That's the best way, but it's not always possible for everyone, I'm sorry, and it wasn't possible for me. So, however works for you, you go with that. So again, what people say, I'm not going to read them all out to you because there's a few here, but you can have a look at the case studies and absolutely read them. As I say, like I think it was Jennifer, sorry, said that, why wouldn't you go to someone else? Absolutely, do all your homework. Don't just listen to me. You do what you feel is right, but I can absolutely guarantee that you won't be disappointed. So there is launch your Salesforce career. So let me just go on to the next slide, because this is probably, I've gone a bit too far. Okay, so let me just tell you anyway. So if you want to sign up for the course, you can go on to Supermums. But what I would suggest genuinely is have a quick chat with me first, because I want to make sure it's right for you, rather than you know, just doing it because of you know what we've said tonight. Because the thing is that I have 30-minute sessions booked in with people all day long, where I can actually advise you personally, because everyone's different. So it might be that it's not right for you. So, you know, it's definitely worth a conversation before you go off and do anything. However, we are getting so close now, because you have to sign up by Friday, and we do still have some seats left. So that's the good news. But like I say, oh, we've got another message here in the chat. What happens if you progress at a different pace than other students, whether it's slower or faster? Okay, that's a great question. And thank you for asking that. I love all the questions, because then I can tell you. So again, there are different reasons why people do faster or slower. It could be your learning style. It could be that you have a lot going on at home for whatever reason. You might have a full-time job, you know, you might have children. So whatever reason it is that you are slower or faster, we do, in terms of faster, if I just address that first, because there absolutely are people that come in at, as we said previously, as accidental admin. So they come in and they want to get their cert. So although they do the job, they want to be able to go and take their exam. So they come and join us. And of course they are, you know, they know what they're doing. So they might be at a faster pace. However, they are usually the ones that are helping the people that are at a slower pace. The other beauty of the slower pace people is that you've got your one-to-one mentor. So that mentor, you will drive your mentor. So she or he will usually work for Salesforce. They will give you an hour session every week. So you will say, okay, next week, can we do Wednesday evening? Because that's the only time I'm free. So you will drive it. So you'll have an hour with them. You'll be able to go through everything that is, you know, a problem for you. They'll be able to help you. They won't give you the answers to the homework, because I tried that one, but they will absolutely give you some resource to get you there. They are also on hand all of the time, where you can send them a WhatsApp and say, I'm really struggling on this piece of my homework, can you advise me? And they will either contact you via WhatsApp with an answer, or they might give you a ring. So the one-to-one mentor was, I think, probably one of the main reasons that I chose Supermums in the first place, was probably the community and the one-to-one mentor. As well as that, you have a cohort of people. The September course that's just gone, I think there was 57 people, I want to say, on that one. And I'm in the group, I'm in the chatter group, and they are always on there saying, you know, I can't do this. Can you show me how to do this? And the ones that are at a faster pace will absolutely share their screen. They'll put some screenshots on there. And everyone will help each other. And as I say, the community side of it is, you know, it's second to none, genuinely. So faster or slower, you either keep up, you can go ahead of the game and even go off and get your cert if you like. But bear in mind that the slower people can be watching recordings, the faster people won't, you know, they could look at the homework, I suppose, before, but they won't be seeing the classroom situation. So it probably wouldn't be ideal to be at a faster pace. But yeah, absolutely, everyone can do it. You get to keep the whole of the course for 12 months. So even if you had to stop for whatever reason and you need to come back in, it is possible to do that. I hope that answers that question. Is there any other questions at this point? Thank you. That's no problem at all. And like I say, I would love to talk to you all individually, just so that we can talk about, Jed, is there a discount on all, do you know what, I can't see because that's in the way, all, I think it says on all free on the fee. Hang on, is there a discount on all free on the fee at all? Right, okay, sorry. Okay, right, I'm afraid there's not, because the course starts, as I say, next week, and the deadline is Friday. So we did have a 10% off at one point, but that, I'm afraid to say, has gone now. The next intake absolutely is in February. So yes, so you can either do November, or if November doesn't work for you, you can do February. Again, that is entirely up to each individual how they do that. I would, however, say the quicker you start, the quicker you finish, and you can go on and start earning all that money. But absolutely, you know, every person that I speak to is completely individual. And if I was talking one-to-one, I'd probably suggest, in fact, do you know, I took just one of my many stories. I spoke to a lady this morning, and she is 5 weeks pregnant. So congratulations to her. And she decided that she was going to do February, but she thought if she did February, she'd be quite a long way down the road before she's having this baby. She couldn't do the one after because that's May, and obviously she's going to be very busy then. I think she was due in June, I think she said. So she came back and said, I'm going to do November for that reason. But again, every single person is individual, and every single person will do whatever, you know, works for them. I don't know if there's any more questions on there. Have you, it'd be good to see, you know, just put an emoji in there, hands up or whatever. Has everyone had a look at the website? Do they know what the admin course is all about? Is there anything that you want to know other than that? So is there a page on the website where I can see the exact dates and times? There isn't yet, but let me just quickly see if I can see for you. So hang on, hold fire there, hold that thought, and I'll see. Let me just stop sharing my screen because I don't want to share, stop share. Right, okay, so I've stopped my screen sharing. I'm just going to quickly have a look and see if there's a date. Give me a second. I think I may have. Okay, so the admin course in November is the 20th. That will be 9:30 a.m. BST. So I think it's GMT then, but anyway, so it's 9:30 in the UK, and that's on a Tuesday. And then the 22nd of February is the US, so that will be a Thursday, and that will be 6 p.m. So I hope that answers your question. That's the next course. So I think it's switched around because this time it's the Tuesday is the 6 p.m. and the next one it's the not yeah. So this one is Tuesday 6 p.m. and the next one is Thursday 6 p.m. Just trying to find you again. There we go. Got you. Okay. I see there's some more messages in the chat. That's great. Keep them coming. That's what I like to see. I've booked a consultation chat with one of your Supermum colleagues for tomorrow before I make my decision to enroll for November. That's great news. You'll speak, I'm guessing you'll speak with Shellin tomorrow. So Shellin is an amazing career coach. She's over in the US. I want to say Chicago, but I might be wrong. But she's amazing. If you want to ask me anything personally, then feel free to do that as well, because we all work together here. So I'm happy to answer any questions. As I say, I can, in fact, let me find it because I don't ring myself, so I don't know what it is, but I will put my phone number in here. So if anybody wants to send me a WhatsApp or anything like that, let me just see what my number is. Oh dear. I did used to know my number, but then I've got a new number at Supermums, and I don't know what it is. Right, so let me just pop it in the chat. So it is 07377 267 205. So you can absolutely find me, anywhere. Once you've met me, that's it. I'm not going anywhere. So please feel free to reach out however you choose to. I can see that there is another message in here, so I think that's answered that. I've got a consultation. Yes, so you will speak to Shellin, and she's lovely. So Lauren, so hi Lauren. Yes, I've had a look at the website for each of the courses and the different roles. Thank you for advising. That is the best. Actually, start with the admin. Absolutely. And for me, can you confirm the cost? Of course I can. It's all on the website though. Now you can pay in one go, or you can pay, it gives you the option on the website. So you'll click onto it, you can pay in full, or it gives you the option to pay over 3 months. Just bear in mind, there is an admin fee if you pay over 3 months. But to be quite honest, I did it that way because I just thought it was easier. So, however it works for you. But as I say, any questions at all, just reach out to any of us. Click on the link, to book some time with us. I'm not around tomorrow, so if you get an appointment tomorrow, it will be over to Shellin. Diane is, I'll answer that question in a second. Diane is our community coach, so she is the person that once you've done your course, and well, to be quite honest, through the course, she does coaching sessions, and she's the global community manager, whereas I'm the customer success manager. So my role is to hopefully advise you of next steps to get onto the course, and and obviously where you should go. In terms of the admin, even if you want to be, I know I said this earlier on, but if you want to be a consultant, if you want to go, have a look at the different roles, as I think Lauren said, because it's always good to see, because don't forget there's a role for everybody, because your transferable skills might take you in a direction, a particular direction that isn't necessarily admin, but absolutely start with admin so you know the system before you start doing anything else, and that's what I was advised. So 2 more questions here. So in the UK, are the majority of job opportunities office-based or home-based? Again, a great question, and I think the answer to that is depends on where you work and what job you decide to accept. So as another example, I spoke to a lady who works online all the time, as do I now, and I love it. And she moved to Ireland, but she took a job with her, because although her job was in London where she lived, didn't matter, because when she went to Ireland, she was still able to do the same job and work from home. So there are plenty of jobs that are available that you won't ever have to go into an office again. There are some that are hybrid. Again, if you've got somebody locally that you can go and work for, that maybe do a bit of hybrid, but it's not the same as if you have to be in an office every day in most cases. So I hope that's answered your question. So can the essential course, again, something keeps jumping in front of it, be upgraded to the full course? Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So in terms of, let me tell you the difference between the two. You can absolutely do either. The only thing that I would say to you is that no, you can't upgrade it. Once you've done it, then that's the one you're on, simply because a few things. So the essentials course will give you that live session once per week. Doesn't give you a coach, a one-to-one mentor, and it doesn't give you the homework either. So although you turn up, it's exactly as it says on the tin, it's the essential bit. So you turn up for a classroom and you learn, and then you go away and you do your own stuff. If you do the ultimate, I chose to do ultimate because of all the extra pieces, which are one-to-one mentor, structured and guided homework, and your work experience. Now, with work experience, we do have to get you a placement early on in the course. So, you know, if you came to us in, you know, month 4, you know, month 3, whatever, and said, you know, I want to change to Ultimate from Essentials, then it's likely we wouldn't have a placement for you. So there are also, and of course, a one-to-one mentor, because although we do have a bank of them, which we call upon, we wouldn't necessarily have enough. When you think that we've got sort of 60 people on a cohort, we have to make sure that the ones that are signed up to Ultimate have all of the bells and whistles. So I think you can absolutely do both, but my advice that I was given when I started is the same advice I give to everyone else. If you're going to do it properly, and, you know, have the guidance and the support of your mentor, and, you know, have the structured homework, because that's so important, I think. No problem. And I would say to you, if anyone's got any more questions, please feel free to drop them in. But if not, I absolutely wish all of you the best of luck, whatever you decide. If you decide not to do this, or you've got any questions, or you're going to do a following one, then you can still reach out to me. I'm always here, you know, and I'm always available to answer your questions. As I say, my role is to help and guide you, you know, so whatever you decide to do is ultimately down to you.